Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video. And Feral Druid is the new hotness. You're seeing pretty much every competitive level player and even semi-competitive level player switching over to the Feral Druid and giving it a go. In today's video, we're going to be covering exactly why that is and what is making it so fun and what is making it so powerful as I began my adventures on the Feral Druid, which is a specialization that historically I've had very limited experience with, but after trying it out, it was really starting to sway me. Now, I am wearing balanced druid gear in this video, so if you're a balanced druid thinking about re-rolling, this is also going to be really good for you to see. So I have haste gear, not mastery, but it ended up not being that terrible. So the main goal with Feral Druid is to get as many dots on the target as possible. We're going to start with Rake, Adaptive Swarm, Feral Frenzy into a 5 combo point rip, Moonfire, switch to another target, start generating combo points to get 5 combo point rips onto as many targets as we can. We're just going to pop Incarnation immediately. You want to get that on cooldown so you're getting as many of them as possible in every round. And then you're just going to go away and just start biting whatever's basically nearby, like you're my cat at home that wakes me up when it wants to eat something in the morning, and you're just constantly switching between the targets and reapplying your dots, making sure that rip is on as many targets as possible, because this is going to be a huge portion of your overall damage with the build that I'm playing in this video specifically. We're getting Death Gripped away. It's kind of annoying, but we're still kind of just marching our way towards the target. You can use Moonfire while you're walking towards the target. This is probably the most effective global if you're getting kited in this type of situation. We're throwing out stuns whenever we have them onto the healer, putting them to behind, even just swapping to the healer, keeping bleeds on everything, and really just maximizing our damage. When we're generating combo points, we're doing our best to basically not repeat the last ability. So I might do like a Brutal Slash, Shred, Moonfire. This guarantees that we get our Blood Talons up pretty much every single time for our 5 combo points in order to get that, Blood Talon empowered rip. And you can see the pressure. Like, we're not even like a little over a minute at this point, and everybody on the opposing side is like 50% HP, just miserable, dying to your bleed. So if you want that rot playstyle, that heavy overall damage feel, Feral Druid's going to deliver that. It's also really tanky now. So if you're getting focus fired, you've got tools like Heart of the Wild, which you can pop to go into bear form to get multiple frenzied regens. You can use Adaptive Swarm as well on yourself, like this instance. It makes frenzied regen really powerful. You can see, look at how much healing I'm getting from frenzied regen. Even at 30% healing reduction, I'm able to get myself back into the fight. But again, the main goal is to make sure you got the Blood Talons rolling from generating that through spending different combo point builders. And then you kind of want to have Adaptive Swarm and Tiger's Fury basically on cooldown. You can see I'm kind of stuck in bear and not able to Tiger's Fury, and every time you're not using Tiger's Fury, you're losing 21% damage. So you really do want it up, and this can be the downside if you're getting focused as Feral. You want to really focus on making sure you're using your instant cast regrowth to try and assist with your healer in order to recover in these types of positions. I decided to retreat completely here because our healer's feared with no trinket, and I'm basically just emergency secondary healer mode, just spamming regrowth to try and restabilize ourselves here because I've got Incarnation. So main goal just before that second Incarnation comes up is to just survive. We survive to it, bait the Death Knight behind the pillar, pop Incarn, Shadow Meld Restealth, Blood Talons rip, swap over to the Shadow Priest, throw out a Maim stun. I see a Hex on the healer, start generating combo points, Adaptive Swarm, send that as soon as possible, Tiger's Fury, send it as soon as possible. Make sure that you're ramping those all the time, multiple stun locks on the DK, and just look how immediately our Incarnation has kind of shifted the momentum. We went from just being like completely dead, spend a few seconds to recover behind the pillar, survive to our Incarnation, then make another advance out into the middle of the map. We're getting Void Shift. Everybody's basically dying at this point on the opposing side. We're probably like one more set of rips on their team away from a victory. I see the healer's got no trinket. I'm going to toss out a Maim stun. I've got Adaptive Swarm coming off cooldown, building up combo points, getting Moonfires onto every target that's possible. Adaptive Swarm after you apply rip is usually the best mode to make sure that you're actually getting value out of it. If you toss it before it, you might get CC'd and not be able to apply your rips in time. But it's definitely really fun. It's a lot funner. I thought it was really complex to begin with. And then basically I took my brain out of the equation. I was just like, I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to say, all right, make sure these cooldowns are on cooldown as much as possible. Make sure I've got as many dots on as many targets as possible. And if I'm getting attacked, try and go into bear form when things are getting really scary, and use my main recovery tools when those situations present themselves. And then suddenly it became a lot easier to play Feral Druid. I feel like a lot of people think it's like really elusive, and I just kind of went in here for the first time this expansion, and I'm just kind of just sending it, right? Like I'm just popping Rake Stun from stealth, Tiger's Fury, full dots, Adaptive Swarm, rip. I got Feral Frenzy. That guy's going to take a lot of damage. Swap over to the Shaman, stun him up, get a Rake, get a rip with our Blood Talons that we just got. He's fully bled up. We use Brutal Slash. I got Incarnation now to stun a third target, so I'm making my way over to the Priest, and I'm probably going to pop Incarn. Actually, I just go for a Maim stun. Now I could Cyclone, You can Cyclone the healer, you know, before dampening starts stacking up. I think stun Cyclone healer is okay. But when dampening is really high, I think it becomes just harder for the healer to actually just heal through the bleeds instead of cycloning them. In a lot of instances, we're biting away at the shaman, making sure our dots are going out onto both targets. We got rips onto both the shaman and the DK at this point. Healer's rotting down in a silence. I've got a maim stun here as well. I don't have my DR tracker on right now. I tried updating my add-ons and some of them still don't work. If somebody's got like a correct Gladius update, I would appreciate that because I just cannot find one. But a bit harder to track the DRs. Obviously, you would want a DR tracker on Feral Druid because you get so many ways you can randomly stun targets. Right now, I'm kind of playing a bit more passive, focusing dots up onto the DPS. I do want to eventually make my way over to the healer, so go for a maim stun, brutal slash spam to get up our combo points. We got Tiger's Fury, we got Swarm on the target, we got Rip going now. That guy's gonna take a lot of damage. Swap back to the Death Knight, get bleeds over there. I see them up, so I'm gonna target the Shaman as more of like the priority target. I want to get bleeds in the Death Knight, but the Shaman is kind of like the main target. So if I have bleeds in the DK, I'm gonna switch back. Vortex the Priest and the Shaman close together, so I don't need to go too far in order to get bleeds on speedy delivery. And we're really starting to rot down the other team. And I'm wearing completely incorrect gear. I'm wearing Boomkin gear. I have no mastery. I'm still pumping really big numbers. So I was worried that like you wouldn't be able to do that on this spec, but you absolutely can. As long as you're focusing on this like multi-bleed playstyle. You can see we're starting to get low, so we gotta make sure we're using our instant regrowth. So I'm just gonna pop survival instincts and just stay aggressive. I'm gonna ram my defensives so that I can just keep staying on target, and so I don't need to go into bear form. Because as soon as you start going into bear form too much, you lose all your bleeds. Like even right now, tossing that one regrowth cast out, I've lost all my bleeds on the DK, so we gotta regenerate those. We gotta make our way over to the shaman again. We're still kind of dying, so I'm pulling away, tossing out those instant regrowths, looking for some defensive clones, trying to slow down the game a bit here because we're just all dying. Secondary healer mode. I see Incarns coming in 15 seconds. So you can see this is like the moment in the game where it's like, just focus on surviving. Spam heal, live, stun DPS. Make sure that you're taking as little damage as possible to get to that incarnation window. Whenever you see it's about like 20 seconds because it's like T minus, lift off, blast off, and you're just going to completely destroy the other team as soon as you have it. We got Incarn, Adaptive Swarm, full bleeds, massive bites coming through, and that's a big chomper. So that's the main plan. Get the cooldowns off as soon as possible so that they rotate back up. When you're getting to that second window, focus on surviving to get to that second window as much as possible. And as soon as you've got there, you're going to be in a really good spot. Let's just skip past the little opener waiting room here. I think I started looking at their healing to try and figure out what's going on. And Feral Druid just has like a lot of regrowth healing. So same opener. Rake into Blood Talons Rip. We got full bleeds over there. Swap over to this target. Hey, there's a healer. I'm going to pop Incarn on it. Who cares? I do not discriminate as to who I apply my bleeds to. If you are nearby and I have bleeds available, you will receive bleeds. And that is just that's the name of the game. As soon as I embraced that, it became a lot less complicated. It was just, priest is here. He doesn't have bleeds. All right, I'm put bleeds on it. That priest is over here. He doesn't have bleeds. I'm put bleeds on that. And then look at that. There's bleeds on everything. I can just swap back. I can take the priest or the shaman. Shaman is wall, so I'm going to prioritize the shadow priest since they don't have damage reduction. We'll stun the shaman. He doesn't have bleeds. Got to attack him. Get combo points up. Make sure our blood talons are ready to go. Get the rips applied to the target. All right, dots are up there. He's ultimate penancy. We're probably not going to kill, so I'm focusing more on just bleeds. I really don't spam bite, honestly, unless I have a really good situation to spam bite. I'm not going to do it. I pop wall here. I'm getting hammered down by Void Torrents, and I got the Entropic Rift on my butt here and a bunch of damage coming from the Shaman. So just going to pop her Survival Instincts, try and focus on getting the bleeds going. We got Adaptive Swarm available as well here with Tiger's Fury. I should have sent this on that Rip there, honestly. The Swarm comes out now, but again, the more you're getting Tiger's Fury up with rips, like I just popped it right here, the more you're going to notice your damage start to skyrocket. It's just super important that you're hitting Tiger's Fury. It's such a powerful cooldown for only a 30-second cooldown. And if you're not hitting it as frequently as possible and you're shifting it and then you just lost one Tiger's Fury in a game, your overall damage is going to really suffer. We jump over to the healer. I see no bleeds. I see a stun DR. I want to send it, but we're also dying. So I shadow meld, and I just narrowly avoid death in that moment in time. I should be sitting in this anti-magic zone. I'm kind of trolling my healer by not going into that. This is the tunnel vision of playing a Feral Druid for the first time. He gets a triple fear. We have no trinket. This is a really tough spot, so I could go bear here. I'm also just trying to maim stun, but maim stunning the healer is super risky looking at the circumstance here. So this is where, focusing. I should have got into healer mode here. This is super risky what I was doing, where I was just kind of hammering down damage because Incarns come out in 10 seconds. So I want to make this game as stable for my healer as possible, but now we've recovered. Anyways, despite that, so Incarn's up. I'm going to pop that, get full bleeds, adapt to Swarm up, swap over to the healer for a second, stun the healer. I don't know why I'm stunning him DR. I really need to get add-ons. That was a really bad MAME stun. This is why it's really important to have them so you know these DRs. Come through, start chomping the Shadow Priest a little bit. Bleeds are still up. Toss some bleeds over. I feel like I'm kind of playing badly at the end of this round, so I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if we lose this one. We try and get a Hex here. I was feared I couldn't dispel it, but you do want to try and dispel it. Yeah, we do actually end up losing. So it feels like I played a bit sloppy. I think I got overconfident in the Pharaoh Druid's ability. So you definitely still need to be aware of that when you're getting kind of overwhelmed and your incarn's coming up. And I didn't atone to my own advice so far in the video, and we lost a round as a result of it. So be aware of that when you're looking to survive to that second incarnation window, that you can really make that timing count. And not fall behind. So we're going to start again. Probably going to rake stun DK so he doesn't get on my caster. He can get more time to breathe. Spam some Brutal Slashes. Tiger's Fury immediately. Rips up. Adapt to Storm out. Feral Frenzy. Moonfire's up. Got full bleeds. Ready to go onto another target. Little Chomper Bite on him. Swap over. Incarn. Restel stun. Get more bleeds. Moonfire up while I'm knocked out of range of him. Rips on that guy. Time to swap over to the Priest. Got 5 combos. Rips applied to that guy. Get Moonfire up as well. Got to reapply our dots here to the DK. Good thing I got 5 combo points. So we're going to MAME stun him. Slow down his aggression. Gets Icebound Fortitude, swap over and start biting. As soon as I got 3 rips, I do start to Ferocious Bite. You can see in this instance, but I really prioritize rip. I think that rip gives you like way more overall damage, way more overall pressure as well. Healers can single target burst heal pretty effectively, but I feel like they struggle a lot more with the sustain that Pharaoh Druid is able to do once you get rips onto multiple targets, especially when you get bleeds going on DPS and healer. Here the Shaman's lassoing us, but a Priest is just dying, so I'm going to MAME stun him, try and maybe go for a clone. He's going to be able to shut it down, though. It's not a big deal. If I tank kicks, then my teammates don't have to deal with them. So it's not always the end of the world if you're taking interrupts for your team, and you can just go into cat form immediately. Got Swarm out. Tiger's Fury's rolling. Swapping over to the Shaman for a second. Getting Moonfires and everything. Rip back onto the Shaman. DK's getting low. I'm going to swap over to him for a moment. Moonfire's not up. We got to apply that. We got big bites here. Actually, I just MAME stun him. Now I'm looking for clones. Clone the Shaman. Get the Trinket. Swap back. Look for another clone. Kick. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. My Shaman's lobbing in Lava Burst. You guys are getting pinned at the pillar. Everybody's dying at the same time, and you're having a really good time. We're all just having a really good time on Pharaoh Druid in these types of situations and circumstances, and I'm just having free reigns. Like, you're attacking my Ellie Shaman, I'm attacking your Resto Shaman. He's not enjoying this at all, and I'm going to harass with clones, distract him to the maximum potential that I can. And now he's full clone. DPS are getting low. Swap over to the Priest for a second. He doesn't have bleeds. We got to get some bleeds on this guy, okay? We're DK, no bleeds. We got to attack the DK. We're getting bleeds on this guy. He's fully dotted up with Blood Talents to pop our wall to stay aggressive. I do not ever want to retreat. Tiger's Fury is available. We got Adaptive Swarm. Incarn's coming up, and something's already dead. So we don't even need to get to it in a lot of situations. And this is all with like limited experience on Pharaoh Druid. This is just the logic that I was applying for playing it the first time. So if you're somebody who's trying it for the first time, I think that this is definitely strategies that will work. We're charging in as Death Knight Pharaoh. We lost the last round because I kind of got overconfident in my ability on the Pharaoh or what the Pharaoh could do for me. But we got Incarn rolling, Tiger's Fury up, Swarm's already out, bleeds are applied to everybody. We are ready to go. And right now the Shaman has a wall up. So MAME stun the Shadow Priest, annoy him, make him angry, swap back to the Shaman, use Bark Skin. Don't be afraid against double caster to throw that when they've got their cooldowns active, because this team is probably not going to stun you very often. So waiting for a stun to use Bark Skin is going to be a bad idea against double casters that don't have a lot of stuns. So I'm just going to pop Bark Skin on their cooldowns, stay aggressive, keep moving forward. Should be using my instant regrowth a bit more here maybe. I think I'm prioritizing the rips a lot, but I missed, like right there, I missed one free regrowth. I guess my team's kind of full HP, so it doesn't really matter, but definitely when you're taking damage, make sure you're rotating in your regrowths between your 5 combo points, because you get that free instant regrowth from Predatory Swiftness. We'll MAME stun the Shadow Priest, annoy him, slow down some of his damage, full bleeds for that guy, swap back to the Shaman, kick him on his Hex, be annoying as possible, get some rips out here, and build up the bleeds once again, because I'm falling behind on bleeds. Need to get rips up, need to swap to the healer, get bleeds onto the healer, just swap to everybody. Could drop a Vortex here on the blind. Vortex of the Death Knight is actually super effective. I'm super tunneled, I think. I'm just trying to do like top damage and make sure rip is on everything, but there are cool little niche things you can do, like a Vortex when enemies clump together. Gives you a lot of big AoE damage. We got tons of pressure on the healer, so I'm just going to Bark Skin, stay on target. I see my healer feared, so I'm just throwing Bark Skin. I don't want to fall behind. I'm just throwing that cooldown, staying ahead of it. I think Survival Instincts is the only one you want to be like really conservative with, because it's 3 minutes, so you're probably only going to get one in a game. So using that when you're really taking damage, but Bark Skin you can kind of just throw out against these double casters, at least whenever you want. We got a maim stun on the shaman, full bleeds on the shaman, building up the combos, toss out the swarm. Like here I could clone him, for example, but I think it's way more pressure to just continue attacking him. Look how much he's struggling. Healers just struggle so much against ferals once you get on top of them, that I don't prefer to clone them, stun clone them. I'd rather just attack them and watch them be miserable and die like this. No, I ain't stun cloning. You ain't getting out of this without suffering a little bit. Okay, so now we're up to 4 wins. We're a bit sad about throwing away that one round, because I think if I'd focused more on defense, we would have probably been in a really good spot. Now we got the final round, double priest feral druid. The shadow priest feral comp is really good right now. It's really good. At least in North America, everybody's re-rolling to this seemingly, and it looks really impenetrable. So definitely would recommend it. We're gonna want to stun the DK so he doesn't get to the priest as easily. Priest can start ramping a bit. Feral frenzy, adaptive storm, tiger's fury, blood talons, rip. That's all up and ready to go. Now we can swap over to the Ellie shaman. Focus on getting dots onto the Ellie shaman. We're gonna just pop incarn. We're holding no restraints. We got one stun on that guy. Swap over incarn, stun the other guy. Full bleeds. Toss out some bites here. Start reducing his health. Honestly, I'm thinking about switching that ferocious bite talent. I don't know if it's as effective anymore. Swap over to the rest of shaman. We got a maim stun, full bleeds on the rest of shaman. Swap over to the DK. Hey, you're nearby and don't have bleeds. I'm going to put a rip up onto you. Hey, Ellie shaman, your rip's about to expire. Let me give you a renewed subscription on your rip. Rest in pieces here, because everybody is bleeding and all of their HP is getting down to 50% at the same time. So we're having a good time. This is a good round so far for the feral druid. 800k DPS. Charge forward, bash. I tried to clone him and kill his healing tide totem here. I just ignored the healing tide totem. That's a feral druid Zug tunnel moment. Killing the healing tide there would have been really good. Did a lot of AoE healing. We get pulled behind the pillar. We're annoyed because this is limiting our ability to put rips up, so we got to get immediately back on a target. Shaman walled earlier, so we're going to get bleeds up here. We also still have the adaptive storm on him, so we're going to kind of try and prioritize rip towards the targets that have that when we can. Maim stun him, slow him down a bit. I see our healer getting gripped into a blind. So we're using the combo points here to kind of peel, as opposed to like set up aggression. Come through, big bites onto the Ellie shaman. He's got anti-magic shield. I don't care. I do physical damage, but you know what? This rest of shaman doesn't have bleed, so I'm going to go on the rest of shaman, pop Heart of the Wild so I can go behind the pillar and get big regrowths and be a bit safe because they are focusing me. Always be aware that if you are kind of going full YOLO, that like you got some sort of defense mechanism in order to go behind the pillar without dying. That's about the only way you're really going to get caught as feral druid. You see, I could clone here, but I'd rather just keep attacking him and watch him die to bleeds and suffer. So I'm not going to clone him and immune him to my rip, and then he stops taking damage. I don't want to ice block him, bro. I just got to keep my rips up, and I got to be doing big damage. So I'm trying to get one here onto the Death Knight, maintaining our blood talons. You can see that here again. That's the combo points. You just press them in different orders: a brutal slash, moonfire shred. Just don't press them all spammed at the same time unless you already have blood talons stacked, and then you'll get that pretty easily. We got the adaptive storm up. Oh, feral frenzy, big bites coming in. This rest of shaman is not having fun. Look at this pressure that we're getting right now. We're just absolutely melting everybody. So I'm not going for clones. Should decurse this, decurse the hex, get some dots going up onto this guy while we fear the healer, get some AoE pressure going, make sure that Spirit Link totem is not going to do nothing for him. He static fields this away, get a rip up before I get pulled back in. Kind of make sure we get the rips up, man. I'm prioritizing this over the totem 10,000%. But we got 5 combo points. Toss a little bite out on that guy. Don't really care. Bite his ankles. Bite any part of him that I can basically at this point. Kick the shaman on a heel. Now I can just pop bark skin and just keep going behind the pillar. We got 5 combo points again. Bite the shaman again. Moonfire's up. Trinket the stun. Everybody's dying. I ain't losing my momentum right now, dude. I am rampaging for a triple kill right now on Feral Druid, and we are absolutely blasting. That was my 1800 lobby on Feral Druid with full haste gear. And I've been really enjoying it. It's really fun. It's really strong. This multi-dot playstyle is really what I like. So I'll have the build linked in the description down below. I've personally been preferring the single target rip over the AoE rip because the AoE rip doesn't last as long, and it becomes really difficult to actually maintain your bleeds, and it just feels like your overall pressure goes down. Now I do think against pet classes, I'm going to try it to play the AoE bleed build because I think against the pet classes it can be really good. But against non-pet classes, I think that I prefer this build that I was playing in this video here. It just felt like it was stronger overall pressure. But I hope you guys enjoyed this deep dive into the Feral Druid. It's got you some advice on how to start up for yourself. If you did, make sure to thumbs up the video. Comments down below with what you'd like to see next from me. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.